Hi and welcome back to my channel. It's Tina. And today I'm sharing my June TBR with you. I did this last month for May and I had a different plan in May. My plan was to be really strict with it, to read only books from that list and to get through all of them. If you saw my May wrap up video, you know how I did with that. So for June, I'm tweaking it a little bit. June, I decided I still want to do a pretty structured TBR, but what I am changing is that I'm adding more books to the list so that I can DNF. You know, I am who I am. I'm a mood reader. And I think this list is going to be really good. I think I have a good mix of books that sort of fit my mood because all I want to read right now are thrillers and new releases. But then also some books that I think will make for good conversation and that would be good to share on the podcast and on my YouTube channel. So let's get into it. It's June 2nd as I'm recording this, and I'm already in the middle of 3 books per usual. The first book that's on my June TBR is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I am reading this one first because summer needs Riley Sager. Like it or not, he comes out with a new book for the past, God, I don't even know how many summers, and I feel like they're always buzzy. They're always pretty hit or miss, and I was so curious about this one. It's his take on a locked room mystery because you have these, I think it's like 6 passengers that are stuck on a train with a person who arranged them to be there for a very specific vengeful reason, and this book basically follows them on their trip from Philadelphia to Chicago. The train's not stopping, they can't get off, and then people start dying one by one. I'm almost done with this. I maybe have 10% left, and I have been seeing such polarizing reviews for it. I gotta say I'm enjoying my time. I don't know, maybe I'm an outlier. I think if you're expecting a lot of twists and turns and oh my gosh, gasp-worthy moments, you probably won't get that. I'm having a good time. You know, it's sort of this thing where everyone's terrible, everyone's a suspect, but that's what you get with Locked Room Mystery. I'm enjoying it. Stay tuned for my final thoughts, but so far it's very entertaining and perfect for summer. The other one that I'm reading right now is called The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. This is my #1 most anticipated book for my Summer Bonanza list. I will link that podcast episode in my notes here. Every summer, Hannah and I do a Summer Bonanza list where we share the books that we are the most excited for the summer. And The Ghostwriter is my top. So Julie Clark is an author that writes these literary suspense novels. So it's not necessarily a thriller, but these are books that are under that thriller mystery suspense category. And in this one, you have a ghostwriter who obviously writes other people's stories. And unfortunately, she is being sued and really needs money. And she gets this offer to write a story of this very famous author who everyone suspects is a murderer. The only catch is this man is her dad, and nobody knows that he is her father because she's gone through pretty great lengths to make sure that nobody could make that connection. And she has reasons for it, and you do find out, but he has requested her specifically to ghostwrite his story. So she goes back to her family house in Ojai, California, and writes his story. I'm not very far, maybe 15%, and I'm enjoying it very much. It's suspenseful, and it's very much a well-written, character-driven literary mystery, which is right in my wheelhouse. Another book I'm reading is not as successful as the other two. It is After the Ocean by Lauren E. Rico. This one I grabbed because I got it from Aardvark. I loved the cover, and I love books that are that take place on cruise ships. I also thought, okay, it's a Puerto Rican author. I'm always looking for own voices thrillers. Now, I will say this is not a thriller. I've considered DNFing it. I am maybe 65%. I'm this far in, and I decided I'm going to stick it out because once you accept that the writing is pretty juvenile and that it's not a thriller, you can enjoy the story because what this is about, it's sort of this layered mystery. The book opens with this woman who's a newlywed, and she is wondering where her husband is. They are on their honeymoon on this cruise ship, and he has disappeared, and she's trying to figure out where is he gone, and no one's really believing her. And you know, because at the beginning of the chapter it says 30 years earlier, you know it's been 30 years since this man disappeared. You also know from the prologue what happens to him, sort of. You have an idea. And she basically is trying to figure out where he went. Now, this man that she married came from a very powerful family that did not like her. And so it looks like maybe they're trying to frame her because they didn't want this marriage to take place. Cut to 30 years later, you're now following her daughters. And her daughters are these funny characters that sort of have their own interesting relationship with each other. And then the woman gets a phone call one day, and it's somebody from Puerto Rico claiming that Paul, her husband, is still alive. So she goes and tries to figure it out. This is, like I said, I would call this almost women's fiction, right? Or contemporary fiction. It's easy to follow. It's a good brain break, it's not that complex. It is interesting. I'm curious to know how it ends. I think I have my suspicions, but I'll report back when I inevitably finish this one. Next is These Heathens by Mia Mackenzie. This one is on my summer bonanza list. I'm so interested in it. And it's historical fiction. And you might think, based on the synopsis I'm about to tell you, you might not think it's a summer read, but I read the first chapter of this and I did not want to put it down. It's about this woman, and I'm going off memory, by the way, but it's about this young girl who I think is recently graduated high school, or she's been pulled out of school for reasons. It's historical fiction. I want to say it's set sometime in the 60s, and she gets pulled out of school to take care of her family. She misses school. She was a great student. And then she starts to suspect that she might be pregnant. And so she goes back up to the high school and links up with her favorite teacher, who she had a really good relationship with, and basically tells her teacher, like, hey, I'm pregnant and I don't want the baby. Now, in the beginning of the book, you don't know who the father is, and she essentially goes on a road trip with her teacher to Atlanta, because they're in a rural town in Georgia. They go up to Atlanta so that she can get an abortion. And when I tell you, the dialogue in this is so funny. Talk about well written, talk about compelling. I have to see where this is going to go. When she's in Atlanta, her eyes get open to this whole new way of life. And, she sort of had this very sheltered upbringing. She's raised in the church and only really sees one path forward for herself as a woman during this time period. But then when she gets to Atlanta, it's this real coming of age eye opener. And I am excited to finish this one. Next is a thriller. I don't know what it's about. It is called Don't Believe Her by Nicola Sanders. And the reason I added this to my list, one, it's an independently published book, and we're doing an indie published episode for Book Talk, etc. But two, when I tell you, this damn book has been all over the thriller Facebook groups that I'm in, and I just have to know, frankly. I want to know what's going on with it. So, of course, this is a thriller about a woman whose perfect life unravels when her best friend reappears after being missing for 12 years. Interesting. She's got this perfect life. She's a great husband. And so when Nick, my handsome fiance, announces that his sister Carla is coming home, it's truly the icing on the cake, because Carla was her best friend until she disappeared 12 years ago. Everyone's ecstatic about Carla's return, but she knows something's not right. Her childhood memories don't align with mine, and she's oddly evasive about the years lost, but no one will listen to her concerns, and her story keeps changing. I love books that have this thing where I'm imagining this is what's going to happen. She's probably going to move in with them and things aren't going to add up. I love books about a guest who overstays their welcome. I also love books about people who disappeared and come back changed. So I'm really interested in this one. It's got a pretty good rating, 4.3 stars, over 11,000 ratings. So I feel like this will be a good page turner. This one I am going to read. It's called The Devil and Mrs Davenport, and I am so curious about it. This is historical fiction, and it's set in the 1950s. And the reason I added this to my list is because I read the book The Stepford Wives this year, and I absolutely loved that one. And I feel like this is going to be similar. It's in the same time period. It's about this woman who I think can hear ghosts. And it's in Missouri in 1955. Loretta Davenport has led an isolated life as a young mother and wife. They're the picture of domestic tranquility until a local girl is murdered and Loretta starts receiving messages from the beyond. I need to know, because I know they're going to make her out to be crazy. And the thing is, her husband works at a Bible college. They don't believe in ghosts, and they start to wonder if this is the work of the devil. I'm going to let you know, because I think that sounds so interesting. Oh, It's Not the End of the World, Jonathan Park's Ramage. This is truly an eat the rich type novel. This one's about, it's really set in the near future, and the world is ending pretty much. People do not have enough resources. They do not have enough food. They don't have enough money, except for the very ultra wealthy. This follows an ultra wealthy couple who are throwing a baby shower for like 100 people or something like that, and spending $100,000. And then the end of the world actually hits during the party. I love an apocalypse. I love the buildup. I love the confusion. I love a Schadenfreude type novel, and I think this is great. I also love this cover so much. Then for something lighter, we're looking at When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. This one I got from Aardvark last month. I love his writing. I don't know about this one. So it's about Jess, who essentially runs into this young boy who's running away from his very abusive father, and she hides him in her apartment. and then they have to run for their lives because the dad is coming for them. As they attempt to evade the boy's increasingly desperate father, horrifying incidents of butchery follow them. And I know this is going to be messed up because Nat Cassidy isn't afraid to go there. And when the wolf finally comes home, no one will be spared. So I think this is maybe a werewolf novel, unclear. It's going to be creepy though. And I haven't heard a lot about this. I know people were excited about it, but I have not seen very many reviews. So I'm going to keep it that way and try not to look too much into it, but I'm excited for this one. Starving Saints is one that I grabbed from Aardvark for this month. One, because it has this cover, and I love it. And they have a special edition that's going to have like a gold inlay on the inside cover. And I'm like, you know what? Just say less. I have a credit. Let me use it. I want to see it. This book is historical fiction, and it's also about cannibals. Apparently, these people are starving saints. As you might guess from the title, they are living in this castle and running out of resources very quickly. So they have to resort to eating each other. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. Okay. I really like these books that push the boundaries, and I feel like this could be done really well. I did not read this author's previous novel, but I've been hearing good things. So hopefully it's a winner. Sticking with my holy theme, and you've got Immaculate Conception by Ling Huang. And this one, she's the author of Natural Beauty, a book I really enjoyed. This one I just grabbed, frankly, because of the author. And it says, what if you could enter the mind of the person you love the most? Enka meets Mathilde at art school and is instantly drawn to her. She makes art that feels original, and Enka is trying hard to prove herself in this fiercely competitive art world. Pours everything into this friendship, but then the friend gets famous and the success causes her to drift away, and Enka becomes desperate to keep her close. I love books that feature an unhinged woman acting badly. Enter Scaffold. It's reported to enhance empathy. This cutting-edge technology could allow Enka to enter Mathilde's mind and access her memories. Undergoing this process would link them forever, but at what cost? I don't know. I'm going to find out. I know this one's going to be weird, and I'm reading this for our Weird Books episode that's coming in June for Book Talk, etc. Another book I'm reading is The Only Ones Left by Riley Sager. This is my last Sager book. I've read all of his other books after I finish his brand new one here in a bit, and I think I want to do a little bit of a Sager ranking. I don't know if it'll be a reel or whatever, or a short, but I know a lot of people have done that. But since I've read so many of his books, I feel like I want to chime in. I have no idea what The Only Ones Left is about. I think it involves a haunted house or some sort of house and somebody that may have committed a crime, but I have to see. I've got to finish this Sager quest, and that will complete however many books he has. I think he has like 8 or so, and I've read almost all of them. Next is King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. This is our community read for June for Book Talk, etc. And this one is about something. It's about revenge. I actually don't know. Let's look it up. That's right. You have this man who has left the fire of his family's crematorium business behind. He's enjoying his life of shallow excess as a financial advisor in Atlanta until he gets a call from his sister, who basically says their father is in a coma after a hit and run accident. So Roman goes home and he learns that this accident might have not been an accident, and he is willing to do anything to protect his family. I don't even care what this is about. I gotta tell you, it's S.A. Cosby. It's going to be intense. It's going to be a ripper, and I'm just excited to read it. Next is What Kind of Paradise by Janelle Brown. She is an auto-read author for me, and this is a literary suspense novel. This one is about a girl who's raised sort of off the grid with her dad. They live somewhere in Montana, and it's set in the early 90s, right before the boom of the internet. And she's living this sheltered life. She knows that her mom died, but she doesn't know much more about that. And then when she's of age, like 17, 18, she decides she wants to find out more about her mom and seek her own life. So she heads over to San Francisco right during the tech boom and finds out a lot of things about her past. I'm excited for this one. I'm also doing this for our in-person book club, and I feel like this one will have a lot to discuss. This one is a very specific pick. It is Sky Daddy by Kate Folk, and I have heard this one's a weird one, and that's okay, because you're following Linda, who is a frequent flyer with an unusual obsession. She is sexually attracted to airplanes, and she wants nothing more in life than to sort of crash in an airplane as an act of final commitment to her love for airplanes. I know this one sounds wild, and it sounds like it is. But I also heard that it's subversive and unexpectedly heartwarming and hijacks the classic love story, which I can get behind. I feel like that might be good. Quickly, this is one I was going to add to my list, The Tenant by Frida McFadden, but then I learned that one of the characters is named Quillizabeth, and I can't do it. The last one is my nonfiction for the month. It is The Book of Alchemy by Suleika Jawad, and this one is short stories, and my gosh, it's really good. I've read some of the stories already, and she is the best-selling author of Between Two Kingdoms. This is about the art of journaling. I love that. I'm not really a journaler, but I should be, I think. I think I would really enjoy it. And it's also about creativity and just about sort of getting to know yourself better. It's set up in a couple of different chapters on beginning. So how do you begin journaling? On memory, on fear, on seeing, on love, on the body, on rebuilding, on ego, on purpose, and on alchemy. And the short stories that are in here are written by popular authors that you may have heard of before, including Anne Patchett, John Green, Hanif Abdurraqib, and many others. And what I love is these stories or these inserts are really short, so you can sort of just pick up this one whenever or wherever you are, and then they each end with a prompt, and they sort of prompt you to journal about this. For example, this one from Sarah Levy I just randomly picked. This is your prompt. Write about your most looming fear of failure, where it shows up and when. Now call to mind the people, experiences, and things in your life that you care about. How does your fear of failure overlap with what matters to you the most? I don't know. I feel like this is a good one. This is a library copy. However, I have a physical copy that I purchased for myself. That is it for today. This is my June TBR. What do you think? Are there any you think I'll love? Are there any misses on here? Do you think I'll get through all of them? Unclear. We shall see. But thank you as always for being here. I cannot wait to go through this list with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.